Hey guys, so you ready for today's January 16th, 2019, almost 7 a.m. Central Time. For my Elite Patriots on Patreon, I'll be doing some videos for you guys later today. But this one is too priceless. This story is too priceless not to put into the public. Now I'll say this, and call it the elephant in the room, I really don't care. Call it honesty. The truth. Okay, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube stating the opposite. Black people who say that blacks in general can't be racist, okay? Or people who've claimed who are black, they aren't racist, but say white privilege all the time, is hysterical because you obviously see white people. That's a color. Any white person who claims black people, because you're, quote, on their side, that blacks can't be racist and aren't racist, all of you are fucking deaf. Because saying white privilege alone, okay, means you can see color. Whether you want to consider that racism or not, that's a whole other story. Beside the point, this ignorant black woman CNN analyst is not only a total racist, and I say that because she had this race card in her back pocket that she was waiting to drop, okay, when she could on this radio interview. Period. She was ready to use it. She just needed the opening to use it, and she did. And not only that, she spreads lies. She is so fucking useless on every spectrum. It's unbelievable. She needs to keep her mouth and her fucking fingers, okay, off her phone or computer and stay off Twitter as well. Listen to this wonderfulness. A CNN analyst, last name Martin, put herself into an awkward situation on Tuesday when she accused a black conservative radio host of operating with, quote, white privilege, okay? So David Webb is a black man who is very educated, okay? When you listen to his radio show, you honestly can't tell his race. He is proficient in the English language, and so forth and so on. He said, quote, I've chosen to cross different parts of the media world. He brought her on his radio show to discuss diversity in the media. Let's point that out for a minute. Quote, I've chosen to cross different parts of the media world, done the work so that I'm qualified to be in each one. I never considered my color to be the issue. I considered my qualifications to be the issue, end quote, Webb explained. Honestly, by even hearing that statement, I would assume he is a man of color, period. Because not too many white people, okay, would say that, saying I never considered my color to be an issue. That's just kind of blatantly obvious, is it not? Martin, apparently unaware that she was talking to a black man, said that Webb's approach to the media came from a place of white privilege. This is what she said. Quote, there's a whole other long conversation about white privilege, which assumes that you have the privilege of doing what people of color don't have the privilege of, Martin said. Quote, Webb responded, how do I have privilege of white privilege? As he was confused on air. Martin replied, David, by virtue of being a white male, you have white privilege, end quote. That is such an ignorant statement to be said by any black person on this planet, to be 100% obvious. All of you guys have more, and I will prove it if need be, more opportunities to get scholarships in this country than any white person, period, at this point in time to go to college. Let's just use that as an example. Whether you choose to find them and actually use them to educate yourself further is a whole other story. You guys have a ton of opportunities these days. This is not the 50s anymore. Webb paused for a moment and then dropped a bomb. Quote, "I hate to break it to you, but you should have been better prepared. I am black." You're talking to a black man who started out in rock radio in Boston. That's actually insulting. End quote. That was the perfect response for him to say that, and why I say he's a very educated man. Webb refused to let Martin off the hook, explaining that it was unacceptable for Martin to make assumptions about any person or his or her level of privilege because of his or her skin color. Martin apologized for her comment. Now, this is the best part. Martin apologized for her comment and insisted that her team gave her incorrect information about Webb's race. What the fuck does it matter what race he is to begin with? Period. So her team went out of their way, because they're dumb, to look up Webb and probably found some different person. And Webb, honestly, to be quite frank, I don't think, I want to say blacks carry the last name Webb like they do other stereotypical, if you will, black last names. So who knows how they came up with Webb, quote unquote, profile? Who knows? But the fact her team even looked into his race is fucking insulting for her to have said that to anyone, whether they be white or black. Moving on, this bitch is so dumb, so dumb. She wrote this on Twitter. This is a tweet. "Just let this sink in. Hashtag Florida school shooting. Hashtag Florida, hashtag gun reform now." She posted this February 18th, 2018, right after all this bullshit happened. She actually put two pictures, graphic pictures, if you will. States where you can buy a gun with no proof of ID. As you can see, the top one with all the red. States where you can vote with no proof of ID. She left the entire United States blank. This actually hit the news, obviously. I will say this right off right now. You cannot purchase a firearm anywhere in this country without an ID when you go through an FFL. Now, if you're talking about private sales, that's a whole other different story. And to be honest with you, not all these states that are red on her wonderful graphic, okay, graph, whatever you want to call it, I don't know what you want to call it, picture, okay, do not allow private sales. Many of them do not allow private sales. So even if that's what she was trying to put out there, she's still inaccurate. So this bitch is so dumb. On Sunday, attorney, social activist, and media personality Martin made erroneous claims about gun and voter ID laws on Twitter, for which she received thousands of negative responses. Martin posted an infographic that displayed the, quote, states where you can buy a gun with no proof of IDs versus states where you can vote with no proof of ID. The graphic shows a majority of states did not require an ID to purchase firearms, but all states require one to vote. Are you kidding me? Current laws are actually basically the opposite of what her graphic shows or suggests. The majority of states have relatively lax voter ID laws, as this infographic shows. Voter ID. Some have strict, some have moderate, some have lax. On the other hand, a majority of states require some form of ID to purchase a firearm. The distinction from state to state is the leniency for given rules. Many individuals within Twitter community felt her infographic was misguided, gladly expressed to her. Even this article sounds as though they are ignorant, because every fucking FFL, when you run a background check on someone, you need to have an ID. Period. End of story. The only way you can purchase a firearm without a form of ID is a private sale. So this bitch got tons of feedback, whether it be graphics, you sit on a throne of lies, verbal stuff. She even got a fucking response from someone, Fox News fan, that quoted Fox News and National Review. I mean, it was ridiculous. So this bitch is not only ignorant and goes off of a team who literally goes out of their way to look at the race of the person in which she will be speaking to, no matter what medium that is, but she spreads lies, 100% lies, on social media. Martin is useless. Am I surprised she's part of CNN? No. In fact, that's exactly where she belongs. CNN. And my suggestion to Martin would be, stay on CNN. Do not go on any type of media anywhere else. Anywhere else, if that's how you're going to function. By using a team to look into people's races so you can take your white privilege card out of your back pocket and throw it in someone's fucking face. Especially one who is not white. This is Are You Ready For It? Take care, guys. Have a great morning.